Well, let's see. Are we live? Yes, we're live. Good God morning. Good God morning. Oh, my gracious me. It's morning. It's a new day. Let's go live on Periscope. Yes. Let's see if we can go live on Periscope. Periscope did the same thing again. Oh, it does say we're live. I don't understand. I can't see myself. Oh, it keeps saying we're live, but I don't see anything. It's just a black camera. What's going on? Anyway, say something. It says bad connection. It's not coming through. Anyway, let me go on. I don't know what's going on with Periscope, but I know Facebook is ready, and I know YouTube is ready, and I am ready. I am a Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day, and I am grateful, 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 grateful. Did you see the lesson yesterday? We did lesson number 2 on Zoom, and I was surprised because it came out on Facebook. Isn't that amazing? Technology is what? Amazing. So if you're here on the replay, say hello, tell me where you're coming from, and let us start with prayer. Take a deep breath in the center. Get quiet and still. Erase all thoughts but God. Oh, good God morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The great I am, thank you. The spiritual being, the creator of all things, the goodness, the love, the peace, the harmony, the happiness, the joy, the abundance. Breathe down on us today. Breathe down on us today. Strengthen us. Keep us moving with you. Becoming closely connected. Consciously aware of who you are in our lives and in others. Seeing the miracles in front of our face. And we just say thank you. We bless those who are walking with us and those who are on the way. We bless our families and strengthen them through their transformations. We bless the government, the Mother Earth. We bless our churches, our church family. We bless the leaders of government and schools and organizations that are moving in direction that they really don't quite understand. We allow your light to shine upon us, for you need not anything but our permission. And so now we surrender right here, right now, to you, Father. To you, spiritual being, the great I am. We step in to the space of co-creation. We open our mind, our eyes, our heart, our being, so that you may enter and do your work. For this we are grateful for the awareness that we stand in our power, who strengthens us in all things. Excuse me. And so it is. Ashe. Amen. God is amazing. God is amazing. So we just prayed and we are in A Course in Miracles. Good morning, Ayala. It is so grateful. I am so grateful to be here. Glasses falling all down off my eyes, right? Anyway, I am coming in at 7:30 these days. 6:30 is just a little too early for a person who does not have to go to work. I'm up and about until like 1, 2 o'clock. I desire to do things a little differently, right? So I am Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day. I am Minister Rosa J. Hodge. I am a student of metaphysical science. I am a health and wealth coach. I am an author of the I Am Affirmation book and page. I am a teacher of metaphysics. I am offering what God has offered to me. A lot of I ams, but I would not be there without the great power of God. And that's the greatest thing that happened to me. One morning I woke up and said, I've had enough. It's yours, Lord. You handle it. And he has. I am grateful. So today's lesson, we come here every morning to study or review A Course in Miracles, a book that has assisted me in freedom, mental freedom, heart freedom, to be able to be authentically and walk in love, authentic love. That's it, that's all. Forgiveness is the way to love, and that's what we learn to do. So today we're on the great lesson of 156. 156. And that lesson is about walking with God, right? I walk with God in perfect holiness. There is only one way. You know, our mind wants to tell us all these things about sins, and we are people of sinfulness and all this, but that's not true. God didn't create any dirt, well, he did create the dirt. No, he didn't, because he created everything. I was going to tell you a scientific fact about dirt, but I'll leave that alone. Okay, so God created everything, right? Everything. There's nothing that God did not create. He gives us divine ideas, and we create divine things, right? God is amazing. Just surrender to him. So today's lesson, say it to yourself, write it in the chat. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I walk with God in perfect holiness. That's it. That's all. Today's idea but states the simple truth that makes the thought of sin impossible. Don't get all up in your head. Just listen. It promises there is no cause for guilt and being causeless does not exist. Right? We're just on a journey, just choices. It follows surely from the basic thought so often mentioned in this text. The idea leaves not your, their source. For if this be true, how can you be apart from God? God is not sinful. And if we are one with God, how can we be? God is not guilty. Thereby we can't, because we're one with God. That's the text. That's what it's teaching. Just lessons. Just change your concepts. Just change your mindsets, if that's such a word. How could we walk? How could you walk the world alone and separate from your source? We get all up in our head and our intellect and our ego, not knowing that that puts us in separation. We are not inconsistent in thoughts that we present in our curriculum. We don't. We're not. Meaning that this course is not inconsistent. We stay on target. The truth must be true throughout. I am one with God. I walk with God in perfect holiness. The thoughts in my head are illusions. The emotions that I feel are not true. We have to ask for help to show you the truth. It cannot contradict itself, nor be in parts uncertain and in others sure. You can't have God be a part of your life in one hand, have God not be a part of your life in the other hand. That doesn't make sense. That's not consistent. You cannot walk the world apart from God because you could not be without him. God knows I could not be without him. He is what your life is. Where you are, he is. There is one life, just one. That life you share with him, nothing can be apart from him and live. That's true. That's a true statement. You might pretend to live. You might be pretending to live, but without God, you're not living. You're imagining that you're in a life. Imagination is a monster. It can just take you everywhere. Erroneous thought pattern. Our minds without God. It just doesn't work. It just does not work. I cannot be judgmental. I can't tell you you're right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. I cannot tell you you're good or you're bad. It's not my job. My job is to love and forgive no matter what. No matter what your mind. It may be difficult to accomplish that goal, but that is what we're here to do. Forgive and love. You might have issues with that. But that's your head, your ego, your hurt, your pain. But with God, all things are possible. They say that all the time. The Bible quotes that, and those people who can tell you where scripture is, and those religious Christians, who have studied the Bible, they can tell you all those things and still be angry. This lesson and these lessons teach you how to be unangry, to truly walk in a God consciousness, so that you can actually have a good life, a great life, a happy life. He, God, is what your life is. Where you are, He is. There is one life. That life you share with Him. Nothing can be apart from Him and live. Yet, where is He? That's what they always ask, right? Atheists ask that. Where is He? There must be holiness as well as life. No attribute of God remains unshared by everything that lives. What lives is holy as Himself. Because what shares His life is a part of holiness and could no more be sinful than the sun could choose to be ice. I like that. His life is part of holiness and could no more be sinful than the sun could choose to be ice. The sea elect to be apart from water, or the grass to grow with roots suspended in air. Impossible. Right? There is a light in you which cannot die, whose presence is so holy that the world is sanctified because of you. All things that live bring gifts to you and offer them in gratitude and gladness at your feet. Great. True. Be told. The things that live bring gifts to you and lay them at your feet. Isn't that not? Isn't that amazing? The scent of flowers is right, is their gift to you. The waves bow down before you. The trees extend their arms to shield you from the heat and lay their leaves for you on the ground, that you may walk in softness. While the wind sinks to a whisper around your holy head. Doesn't that sound, in that poetry, does it make you feel, how does that make you feel to know the truth? That everything is for your pleasure. Given to please you. God created all for you. The light in you is what the universe longs to behold. All living things are still before you, for they recognize who walks with them. And the light you carry is their own. And thus, and thus they see in you their holiness, saluting you as Savior and as God. Accept their reverence, for it is due to holiness itself, which walks with you, transforming in its gentle light all things into its likeness and its purity. Yes, yes. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. The sons of God, the daughter of God, the gift of God, the the holiness of God, the image and likeness of God. This is the way salvation works. And as you step back, the light in you steps forth and encompasses the world. Let your light shine. It heralds not the end of sin or punishment or death. In lightness and in laughter is sin gone, because it's quaint absurdity is seen. It is a foolish thought, a silly dream, not light, frightening, ridiculous, perhaps. But who would waste an instant to approach to God himself for such senseless whim? Yet, here we go. Yet, we have wasted many, many years on just this foolish thought, and past is gone with all its fantasies. Oh, how many of us have passed and wasted? Oh, all those feelings of depression, all those feelings of being not liked, unloved, all those untruths. How many of us have stayed in that spot when all we had to do is open our hearts and surrender to the one creator I am? They keep you bound no longer. The approach to God is near. And in the little intervals of doubt that still remain, you may perhaps lose sight of your companions and mistake him for senselessness, ancient dreams that now have passed. Just for a second, we might go back there. But when we do, we have to remember who walks with me. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I must remember this. And then when the question comes, who walks with me? The question should be asked 1,000 times today. It probably will be. Things will show up, and that's all right. They will show up. Today, let doubting cease. God speaks for you in answering your question. And these are the words he uses. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I light the world. I light my mind and all the minds which God created, one with me. I'm going to type that in the chat. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I light the world. I light my mind and all the minds which God created with one with me. I light the world. Hey, Tana. So let me type that in the chat. So remember, as the day goes on and life shows up, as it always will, remember, did I type it? Oh, yeah. Remember, I walk with God in perfect holiness. I light the world. That's good, right? Do you like that? Do you understand that? Come back and listen to it again. Share it out. Have a good God day. I am RosaJ, doing it God's way. Go to the Facebook page, A Course in Miracles group, and see the lesson yesterday. It was great. We will be meeting again next Monday on Zoom. Like the page so that you may join the group. The lessons will be there. There's your homework. You have to, we're going to be doing lesson 3 next Tuesday. Just to talk about it. Get back into that mindset. Yes. Be blessed. Be ever so blessed. Namaste. Cutting off all things. Yes. Namaste, YouTube. So let me paste this in and share that in. And then I can come to, I don't know what happened there. That's crazy. See you later, YouTube. See you later.